The crowd thought it was just another ordinary day until the camera slowly found a small boy standing barefoot on a busy Manila street, his voice trembling but brave, singing not for fame, not for applause, but for his mother's life. Before you go any further, take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel, because stories like this deserve to be shared, and you never know whose hope might be restored by watching till the end. His name was Miguel, only 12 years old, with thin arms, worn slippers, and eyes far older than his age. Every morning before sunrise, while other children slept or prepared for school, Miguel stood on the cracked sidewalk near a jeepney stop, holding a battered microphone connected to a small speaker someone had donated. Behind him was a cardboard sign written in shaky letters, "Singing to help my sick mother." Cars passed, people hurried by, some dropping coins, some pretending not to see him. Yet Miguel sang with all his heart, pouring his fear, love, and desperation into every note. His mother lay in a small rented room nearby, weak from a serious illness they could barely afford to treat. Doctors said she needed medicine and tests, but the cost felt like an impossible mountain for a boy who counted coins at the end of each day. Miguel's father had passed away years earlier, leaving just the two of them against the world. His mother used to sing while cooking or cleaning, her voice warm and gentle, and it was from her that Miguel learned music. When she became too weak to stand, Miguel promised her he would do anything to keep her alive. Singing on the streets became his way of fighting fate. At night, after long hours under the sun, he would sit beside her, hum the same songs she once sang to him, and tell her stories about the people who smiled or clapped that day, even when the money was little. She would smile back, hiding her pain, telling him that his voice was already a blessing. One afternoon, a tourist filmed Miguel singing an old Filipino love song, his voice raw but haunting, full of pain and hope. The video spread online faster than anyone expected. Comments poured in from around the world, people touched by the sight of a small boy carrying such a heavy burden. Someone suggested he audition for a big talent show. At first, Miguel laughed at the idea. A boy from the streets, with no training, no proper clothes, standing on a stage watched by millions? It felt like a dream too big to even imagine. But when his mother heard about it, she held his hand and whispered that dreams are sometimes the only medicine stronger than fear. With borrowed clothes, donated fare, and a heart full of prayers, Miguel traveled to audition. When he stood in front of the judges, his knees shook, his hands were cold, and his voice almost failed him. Simon Cowell looked at him and asked why he was there. Miguel swallowed hard and said he was singing for his mother, who was fighting for her life. The room grew quiet. Then he began to sing. From the first note, something changed. His voice cracked, but it carried truth. It carried nights of hunger, days of hope, and the unbreakable love of a child for his parent. People in the audience wiped their tears. The judges leaned forward, stunned by the emotion pouring from such a small body. As the final note faded, there was silence, then thunderous applause. Miguel stood frozen, unsure if he had done enough. Simon Cowell slowly stood up, his eyes shining, and spoke about how rare it is to hear a voice that doesn't just sing, but tells a story. Then, in a moment that would change everything, Simon reached out and pressed the golden buzzer. Golden confetti rained down as Miguel fell to his knees, crying, overwhelmed by disbelief and joy. The audience cheered his name, and in that instant, the boy who once sang to passing strangers was lifted by the world. The golden buzzer wasn't just about fame. Donations poured in, medical support arrived, and Miguel's mother finally received the treatment she needed. For the first time in months, her pain eased, and she watched her son on television, tears streaming down her face, proud beyond words. Miguel returned to the streets one last time, not to beg, but to sing in gratitude, thanking the people who once dropped coins into his hand without knowing they were helping save a life. This story is more than a miracle on a stage. It's a reminder that talent can be born in the hardest places, that love can give strength beyond age, and that sometimes one voice is enough to change a destiny. If this story touched your heart, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with others. You never know whose darkness might be lit by a single song, or whose miracle is waiting to be heard.